Let me welcome everybody on the call. You took the time out of your busy schedule to be here tonight, and we want to make sure that we respect your time and and you leave this meeting feeling like it was meaningful and useful. And you might notice when you got the email that had the link in it, that this is going to be a very different meeting. If you've attended a district chair meeting in the past, this was going to be different. We've given you an agenda. And what we want to do is use that agenda to respect your time. Basically, it works like this. From 5:15 to 5:30 was a gathering time, a time for everybody to chat a little bit about it with each other and have conversation and get to know each other and renew acquaintances. 5:30 to 6:15 will be an agenda type meeting, and we hope to give you information during that period of time. Hopefully you will find it useful. Then at 6:15, we're going to break into 4 chat rooms. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that at the time. But basically what that's for is for you to chat about a particular topic. And you get to choose where you go. And we'll have a facilitator in each room, and we'll work from there. This meeting is designed to focus on the district chairs. We're delighted everybody's here, and we hope everybody gets some information. I just want to personally thank every single district chair. We don't thank you enough for what you do, but you are the wind in our sails. You make us successful or not, and we never should fail to tell you often enough that we thank you for what you do. Your efforts are commendable, and you truly make us what we are. Since our last meeting, we've had 4 new district chairs come along, and we're delighted that they're here as a part of us, even if they're not physically in the meeting tonight. 6740 Woody Carlson is with us. 6760 Elton, we appreciate you being here. 6970 is George Sachs, and 7710 is Suzanne. So thank you very much for agreeing to be new district chairs. So we hope that we will live up to your expectations, and we certainly want you to help us move forward. Next, I want to welcome the district governor change. Whether you're a district governor or a district governor-elect, district governor nominee, whatever, if you're in the chain, we thank you for being here because your time is valuable. And we covet your support for CART, and you can help us succeed. In some cases, we have to succeed without you if you don't support us, but we want you to support us. We really do. Next, we appreciate all of our executive committee members. They guide this organization. This organization is a grassroots organization, but we lean on the executive committee in terms of their expertise, in terms of what we should do to avoid stumbling. And we've had 2 folks added to that committee since we last met. And one's Ervin Signs, who we will see shortly. And one is Janice Wilkins, who's our new secretary. We're always indebted to the regional coordinators. They provide us with education and support. And we couldn't do without them either. From a regional coordinator standpoint, Bill Shillita, who you all know, has agreed to step forward and represent our northern region. And for those of you not familiar with our terminology, that includes all the Virginia districts, West Virginia, Delaware, Maryland, and the Pennsylvania area. So he's accepted a great challenge, and he's willing to do that. Secondly, Michelle, who you all know through the portal, has agreed that she didn't have enough to do. So she's going to be the regional coordinator for a portion of Zone 30, which includes Kentucky, Tennessee, and Alabama. We really appreciate that, Michelle, as we expand westward. Next, I want to thank all the volunteers. Whatever your role is and whatever your title is, if you volunteer for CART, you're important to us, and we appreciate everything that you do to help us succeed, because we couldn't succeed without you. I mean, typically, you think, well, it's all about the president. It is not, let me tell you. And it's not about the executive committee. It's about you, the volunteers. And we appreciate everything that you do. And we have a new executive director. And perhaps you know Tiffany from the enormous number of emails she sends you. Perhaps you know her from the speaking engagements that she does throughout Rotary. Perhaps you know her from all of her YouTube videos. Perhaps you know her from her enthusiasm and her energy. Perhaps you even know her from her favorite phrase, I have a great idea. And when she says that, some people just duck and run. But she is going to be a tremendous asset to the executive committee, to the Clark Fund, and we appreciate Tiffany, and we hope you will get to know her and get to appreciate her just as the rest of us do. And right now, we're going to ask Tiffany to take over and give us an update.
Awesome. Thank you, Rod. I will clarify one thing. I never say I have a great idea. I leave that up to you guys to decide. I just say I have an idea, and then I let you guys decide if it's great or not, because some people may disagree about that. But yes, I'm very excited to take on this new role. I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to Bill Shillito, because for so many years now, he has guided us and moved us forward. And I know that we all appreciate all that he has done. And we are all grateful that he didn't go anywhere and we are able to keep him on board. So as Rod mentioned, as we started talking about what we wanted to do with this meeting each month, we heard a lot of the same comments from folks that you find it helpful when we share information, but not necessarily helpful when everyone has an opportunity to talk on the same night, because we end up sitting here for a longer time. So we're going to be very conscious of your time. And Rod and I have worked really hard to do a very, very distinct and specific agenda. But our goal for this meeting is to let everyone get to know each other and make sure that we address important issues, but also to make sure that you're hearing what it is that you truly need. And then at 6:15, we will separate into breakout rooms. And each month, those breakout topics may differ just a little bit, but we'll let you know what those are in advance. We also have some tremendous guest presenters that we're going to be inviting as either part of the big meeting or some breakout sessions. Many of you have asked about the videos of our researchers that we had. Many of you joined us via Zoom. Many of you were in person in Columbia. We have 3 videos of those presentations. The first one of our top researchers, which were Dr. Quinty and Dr. Kim from the Harvard, Massachusetts General Hospital up there in Harvard. Those guys are already edited and has been uploaded to our YouTube channel. But if you aren't already a subscriber to our YouTube channel, that's going to be a place that you can find lots of resources. And if you subscribe, you will get notified when there are new videos that are uploaded. And these are the presentations from our researchers, will be things that you can utilize if you need a quick program or a Zoom call, or your speaker doesn't show up and you need something at the last minute, you can share that with them. It's also great because people who are donating to our organization oftentimes will want to know where their money is going. And this is an excellent opportunity. We have about 2 years worth of those videos on there right now, and we'll continue to add to that. So the first presentation is there, and then there will be 2 others that will be coming shortly. I wanted to go ahead and give you the dates to put on your calendar. Our next meeting like this will be held on Tuesday, August the 9th. And that meeting is already in DACDB, so you can already go online and register for it if you would like. We will use the same recurring Zoom link. If you're one of those people that's way smarter than me and knows how to save that in your calendar or in your phone, please do. We will be using this link from my district quite a bit as a recurring link so that you don't have to look for a new one every time. But registration is open for the August 9th meeting. And again, it'll be the same format from 5:30 to 6:30, but we will open a half an hour early next time so that you guys have more time to talk. Another date that I would like to add to your calendar, and for those of you who are district chairs who are brand new, and Rod introduced the 4 of them a little while ago, we're going to do something new called a district chair orientation. And so we would like to invite you to participate in that, and any district chair that would like to attend, even if you've been a chair for numerous years, or maybe this is your 2nd year, or if it's your 10th year, whatever the case may be, we would like to invite any district chair that would like to participate in that. And that will be a Zoom call as well. And that will be on Thursday, August the 4th from 6 to 7 p.m. And it will use this exact same Zoom link. And later tonight, I'll have that registration up on our DACDB calendar as well. But again, it's not really for club chairs necessarily. The DG line, look, y'all got enough meetings you need to go to right now. Don't worry about this one. Executive committee, you're off the hook. This is really for our district chairs, except we do have a couple of executive committee members that are also district chairs. But this is going to be for you. So Rod and I are excited to roll that out to you on August the 4th. And our next district chair meeting will be on Tuesday, August the 9th. Now, our goal ultimately for this meeting is to have a consistent date every month, whether it's the first Tuesday, the third Tuesday, that is not working right now for various and sundry reasons. We have a lot of district chairs who have club meetings on Monday nights, like Michelle and I do. It was really difficult for us to do the Monday night meetings. We also have several district chairs who have club meetings on Tuesday nights. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. I just want to let you know that up front, but we're going to try to give you enough notice that hopefully as many of you as possible will be able to attend. The executive committee is going to be meeting later this month to approve some big changes in our organization, not huge changes, but mostly our goals as far as we move into other areas and formally approving what Rod announced earlier with Bill Shillito and Michelle Garashielek coming on as two of our division chairs. Technically, it requires executive committee approval. We don't think they're going to disapprove it, so we went ahead and announced it tonight. We are excited to have them in these roles, and I know that you guys will as well. But that'll give our executive committee an opportunity to talk about that, make sure we're all on the same page. And I am personally very excited about where we're moving. We have huge shoulders to stand on, big shoes to fill, as they say, but everybody is working well together, and I'm really excited about that. Tonight, after me, you're going to hear from Michelle Garashielek. If for those of you who have participated in this meeting previously, you will recall that we've kind of gone around the room and let everybody chit chat and tell us what's going on in their district. And we're going to do that a little differently this year, because what happened was with 30 or so people on the call, it got to be very long. And sometimes we were repeating things that had been said the month before, but someone had missed a call and didn't know it. So we're going to try to be very careful to be conscious of your time and have specific topics that we think are applicable to everyone. We know that many of you have questions about what's going on in the CART portal. And Michelle, as many of you know, has become our go-to volunteer administrator of the donor portal online. And so tonight she has about 10 minutes on the agenda to talk to us about what you need to know about the portal and a little bit of time for you to ask some questions. But following that, Michelle is going to be hosting one of our breakout rooms. So from 6:15 to 6:28, that will be your opportunity if you have specific questions about the portal to go into the room with her and ask her those questions. Because what we found was that previously some people would be asking the questions and everybody else has already done that, and we were wasting some folks' time, and we don't want to do that for you. So Michelle's going to address some issues at the beginning. I have a feeling that Michelle's probably going to be on the agenda every month to address those issues for us and then answer specific questions for those of you who may need a little more assistance. So Michelle has 10 minutes on the agenda tonight to talk about that. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Michelle. She has 10 minutes to share some information with you and then to answer your questions. Michelle?
It's great to be here. As Tiffany said, my name is Michelle Garashielek. I am the District 7670 CART chair and had interest in the portal. Terry Weaver and I are both volunteers. Okay, Terry is the one who created the portal and has all the knowledge, and I'm the one that helps Terry, essentially. What that means is that every day, and it kind of is an everyday thing, that Terry and I both look at the portal and we look at the contributions and we check to make sure that the contributions that you have made from your clubs or the contributions that personal people have made go through properly. We also get notices from the bank, and we get notices from the administrators of the portal that said Mary Jones' check didn't clear or someone's check was returned. And all we know is that we need to go back to that person and say, we got a message from the bank that your check did not come through. We don't always know why. Everybody's like, well, what did I do wrong? Sometimes the check comes back and I put it in. I'm like, Terry, I put that check in. I know I did the right thing. And he'll say, the bank for some reason didn't like it. So what happens is I'm going to the people that are in your district. Sometimes it's a district chair and sometimes it's a donor. I'm going to do a better job of letting you know if you're a district chair that I've gone to that person. But I'm very polite about it. I send out an email. I usually talk to them on the phone. We work through it. If you're a district chair, you know, I've just said, go back and put it in again. So I am reaching out to people in all areas. So if they say this strange lady called me, you'll know it's me. And I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. I'm just trying to resolve issues. The most important thing you need to know is that the level in the cart portal may be different than the level in DACDB. When this portal was created and you put in information, your name, your information comes from DACDB if you are in DACDB. So ideally, it should come through, and if you are a 4 in DACDB, you will become a 4 in the cart portal. We're finding that may or may not happen. So if there is an issue, and I'll go through this in a minute, just let me know with an email and I can correct that for your club cart people. A district cart chair needs to be a level 6 in the portal. The level 6 gives you the ability to deposit a check in the bank and make a manual entry. Your cart chairs in the clubs need to be a level 4. Okay, so as you go in and as you look through the portal, you'll check to see, and Tiffany and I are going to work together also and make sure that you have access to that information. If not, we will correct it for you. So it's level 4 and level 6. The next thing, people say, oh, how much can I put through as an electronic funds transfer? Well, the truth of the matter is it kind of depends upon the bank. We say to some people, well, if it's under 10,000, if it's under 5,000, but in the past we have found that sometimes some things over $5,000, the bank does not want to take as an electronic funds transfer. So my rule of thumb and my suggestion is if you have a check from someone that's over $5,000, enter it as a manual contribution and deposit it in the bank. Because that's the clearest and cleanest way that it gets credited to the fund and that you put it in properly so that you credit it to your club the proper amount, and then it goes into the bank. On that deposit slip, I know we've been reminded in the past, you need to put your district number. When those deposit slips go to Angus, I believe, he has the district number, so he can credit that amount, but he doesn't know what club it is. He doesn't know who put it in. He really doesn't know what the check looked like. So it's very important that if you make a manual deposit, that you put the district number on it. And manual deposit, manual contributions need to be entered in the portal as well. I recently had a conversation with someone who said, oh, I took these checks to the bank. I said, did you enter in the portal? So that's a challenge. I'm a record keeper and a paper keeper. If you make deposits, you put checks in the bank, if you would make a copy of that check for your own records, that will save you time in the future. If something comes up, somebody asks about, if chairs are not using the portal, if somebody asks about what the check is, then you'll have a copy of that check. When you go into the portal and you enter a contribution, when you go to the second page, if you would just take a moment and look at the top right-hand corner and acknowledge that that's the amount that you want to deposit it. So if it says $1,000 and you really only wanted to deposit $100, please do not complete that transaction. Go back, start that transaction again. And what will happen is when I go into the portal, I will see that you started a transaction that didn't go through, and then you completed the right transaction. If for some reason you put in $1,000, you only meant $100, please contact myself or Terry. And my phone number is actually in the top right-hand corner of the portal. If it is a credit card, we might be able to take care of that quickly. If it's a check, we have other ways that we process it. But we recently had several people who've done that. We've returned their money. It is a process and it does take time. But if you'd stop for 1 minute and check that amount, that would save that challenge. Recurring contributions. This portal has been great and many, many people make donations into it. Unfortunately, the recurring contribution portion, we've had some challenges with, and we recognize those challenges. We've reached out to the people and let them know. I must tell you that the other day, my contribution that I've been trying to put in, because I'm working with the DACDB people, went through perfectly. All the ones that are already in there have gone through fine. So I would say, if you have an opportunity and patience with us, if you would go to the portal and make a recurring contribution and we'll watch that it goes through. And if for some reason we'll contact you and let you know. But that's the piece that we're working hard on right now to make sure that it works properly, because recurring contributions are great. I mean, $10 a month is 100 and plus, for the year. So, I mean, that's what we're looking for, and that makes it easy. So we're working on that, and that should be really good in process and finished right now, actually. So try it. Please have patience with us. Once again, what you can deposit also, I had to tell you, if you have a money order, you cannot electronically fund transfer it. If you have a check from a brokerage firm or any kind of strange looking check, doesn't matter what it is, you cannot electrically fund transfer that check. What happens is it'll come back. I've had people call me, I've had bankers call me and say, I don't understand why it happens, and I don't understand why it happens. But we then just deposit that check in the bank. So be careful the kinds of things that you put in. What you put in is what you're going to get out. So take your time on the account numbers, take your time on the routing numbers. And I've been using Tammy's line on everything I do. I'm just one call away. So if anybody needs any help, give me a call. Thank you for all that you do. And work in the portal. Once you start working in it, you're going to find how easy it is.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michelle. So Angus did mention in the chat, really there are very few reasons to be depositing checks at the bank anymore. As Michelle just said, there are only a few types that won't go through electronically. So, and that will be part of our orientation that we were talking about in the next 2 weeks as well. If you have not gotten that information, I think everyone has it, but we really do want everyone to be using the donor portal at this point. I want to thank several of you who have reached out and said, hey, can we get a template of a PowerPoint presentation when I go to make a speech? I don't really know, I know my story, but I don't know what else to say. And I heard from several of you on this call. So I'm so excited that Erin has done that for us. And I have the completed version on my computer. Let me tell you that I have it. It's called The Power of One. And I'll tell you what he was going to tell you, that we will email you a link where you can download this PowerPoint template. It has all this information about CART. It has our history. It has what we've done recently. It has what we're doing next. It talks about the 3 researchers that were selected for this year. It also has embedded in it a link to that Power of One video that some of you have seen. And we're going to make sure that for those of you who might be presenting at a program, at a club that doesn't have Wi-Fi and you can't get onto YouTube and all of that, I have the original version of that video since I produced it. So I'm going to give you that as an embedded link so that if you don't have Wi-Fi access, you can still use that video. It's about 3 minutes. I showed it today at a club presentation, and it really does a great job of introducing the program. So we're going to provide you with this template of this PowerPoint slides. So if you're presenting to a club, now here's the thing about it. I think that it would be nice if you added a page to it that has your name and your contact information and your district information. And perhaps you might even want to add some details about your district's history of giving or the club that you're speaking to, that kind of thing. So let me tell y'all what Ervin has offered to do. He's not only designed this template that you can take it and you can use it as is, but if you would like an extra page at the beginning or at the end with your picture, your name, your contact information, he's willing to do that for you as well and insert it for you and then send it back to you. I know, he's incredible. Aren't y'all glad y'all finally got a PI vice president that knows what they're doing? So he is going to do a great job with us. I'm so sorry you're not getting to hear from him tonight. But so after this meeting tonight, we will email you. I know Luther has a presentation coming up in just 2 days. Might be late tonight, but I promise I will get that out to you guys tonight.
I'll be up late tonight.
Perfect. All right, we'll have that ready for you. The other things that Aaron was going to mention to you tonight are the new YouTube video about the researcher, which I mentioned to you earlier. So that is now on YouTube. One now coming, 2 more coming soon. Be sure to subscribe to that YouTube channel. Also, we want you to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. So follow us as yourself if you have a personal account, but if you manage a club account or a district account, please consider following and liking as that page also. And perhaps you could even make this your little homework assignment to reach out to your district's public image chair and ask them to do the same, because a lot of times we'll share information that might be worthwhile for them to share as well. I'll give you a great example. Last week when I shared the first YouTube video of our first researcher for this year, it was shared 7 times in the first day. A couple of districts, a couple of clubs, a couple of you guys. And that's something we want to get beyond Rotary. If you could do that for us, that would be great. We are on Twitter and Facebook. Share our posts as well. And then finally on those posts, I have people say to me, well, we wanted you to promote our fundraiser. And if I don't know about it, we can't promote it. So if you are doing a fundraiser or an event and you're putting it on Facebook, be sure to also tag us. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, ask your club or district public image chair. They will be, if you can't get in touch with them or you don't know who that is, call me or call Aaron. We'll be happy to help you with that. But here's an example. If you do an event on Facebook and you're hosting it, like your club or your district, you can send a request that CART become a co-host of the event, and then it shows up on our page as well. So there's lots of opportunities out there for us to know about your activities and your events so that we can help promote them and share them. I also want to mention 2 other things about public image, and then we're going to get ready to go into our breakout sessions. Number 1 is the website. The website is probably the biggest thorn in my side, but it is a work in progress, and I am excited to say that it is getting closer to being finished. We made an executive decision on the executive committee in the spring of this year to transition to a website through DACDB. Many of our clubs and districts and action groups and fellowships and the zone and many other organizations in Rotary are already using DACDB for website hosting. And so that is what we are moving to. But part of it is rebuilding it from scratch. So I probably spent 6 hours on Friday alone working on the website, but it is going to be much more user-friendly. I just ask that you give us, as Michelle said earlier, be patient with us because it is a work in progress. But there are so many opportunities for us when we do get it up and running that I think you will all be very pleased. I hope that when we meet again in August, we have something for you to look at live that will be up and running that we can continue to add to it. So that is certainly my goal, and I'm grateful that that you're being patient with us because it is going to be incredible when we get it. The second thing is the CART newsletter. You all may recall it's called the CART Wheel. We currently use MailChimp for that, and there is an opt-in in order to get onto that mailing list. Something has happened with our website in the last month that it is beyond my purview, and I don't even have access to fix it. But the sign up for the newsletter has disappeared. So here's what I'm going to say to you. If you would like to be, if you're not currently on that district, that CART newsletter list, but you would like to be added to it, and I hope that you're all already on it, but if you're not and you need to be added to it, please just send me an email or send one to cartfundnews@gmail.com or to me personally, either one. I check both of those. It'll be fine. And just tell me, add me to the newsletter list. I will get you added in there. If any of your club chairs want to be added, just send me a list. I'll take care of importing them and all of that, because here's what's going to happen when we move to the DACDB site. Our newsletter will turn into an easy bulletin, but we will have to import all of those names from MailChimp in order to transition it over. It's not that hard. It won't be a big issue. So that's what I wanted to mention about the newsletter. And again, if you'll send us information, cartfundnews@gmail.com, or send it to me, Tiffany at tiffanyervin.com. Either one is fine. I will be happy to make sure that gets in there. We'll be transitioning that to Aaron in the coming weeks.
Any pressing questions that you have before we go to the chat rooms?
Tiffany and I chatted real briefly yesterday morning, but I had a suggestion, and I don't know if anyone else is interested, but as far as when you start meeting again, the executive committee, I would be interested in seeing at least the agenda, or at least knowing where it's posted, maybe if it's on YouTube or the website, and maybe listening to or seeing the after, the recording or whatever. It seems to me that the gap between my knowledge and, of course, someone like Bill, I just feel like I could learn a lot from those meetings and get more up to speed and understand more about the researchers and a little bit more in depth, and maybe even, I don't want to interfere with the process there, because I know that's too much, but just learn some things.
You have an extremely valid point, Susan. I will tell you that most of our executive committee meetings are extremely boring.
Sure.
But I would have no problem whatsoever posting an agenda or even inviting you to attend. I just would hope you didn't go to sleep in the middle of it.
Well, that's okay.
So we have one question in the chat that I can address. Eldon asked about Norm's raffle, and Norm, I spoke to him earlier, and he is not able to join us tonight, but I do have an update on that. He did not sell the minimum number of tickets that he had hoped for. So he is, as of today, extending the raffle for the car until he sells 500 tickets. So we're going to get an update from him later. As of today, he was at 120 or 125 tickets. So there's still a little ways to go, but he is extending that, and we'll get that information out in our newsletter as well for everyone. But Eldon, thank you for asking that question. One of the questions that came up, so I think, but I saved it because I think it's a good one for the entire group, and we will address this next month as well, is how do you get things like blue buckets, cart pins, and the cups and things like that. So right now, and Rod, I'm going to ask Rod to join in on this, but right now my understanding is that Johnny Hilton has the buckets. You can, and so I can share his information in the chat as well. If you want to order and pay for cups, there is a separate person that has those. If you use the correct logo, which you can get from Aaron or myself, you can certainly produce your own locally, that if you would like to do that. And cart pins, I honestly do not know who has those right now. It is not me.
I have a few.
Okay, I have a few as well. So we'll work on that. We will put that in a memo to you all. I think some district chairs have a few, some maybe do not. Cara had an excellent idea of each person from their little group. We have about 3 minutes left. If you would like to give one quickly aha moment of something that you think everyone else in the room might be interested in, I will start with Susan. There she is, right there. And then we'll go to Michelle, and then we'll go to Rod to wrap us up.
I think I learned more from the group than they did from me. We got a great group. Yeah, silent auction items, upselling at events. If you have an event, think auction items, having lunch. If you've got a sheriff, for example, who's popular, have lunch with the sheriff if you're doing something like that. I found Bill Parker sent me your YouTube location for your fundraising ideas, which is great. And, do what your club loves. I mean, you got to get club buy-in. And so, our club did a poker tournament. They made $6,000. They had a great time because it's a very social thing. They had club buy-in and they spent $45.
Excellent. So thank you for that reminder, Susan. There is a YouTube playlist on our YouTube channel called Cart Fund Boot Camp, and it does have some previous topics like that. We'll continue to add to that. Thank you for that reminder. Michelle Garashi-Ellick, 1 minute.
Really basically that everybody had the aha moment that anybody can make a contribution to CART. It doesn't have to be the CART chair. It doesn't have to be the club chair. It doesn't have to be the district chair. Anybody that you're standing next to can go into the portal or the portal that you have in front of you and enter their name and make their own contribution.
Wonderful. And the other question that Eldon put in the chat applies to that as well. He asked, where can he get the historical records of clubs donations? And there is a place in the portal called reports. So I encourage you to play around in there and download those, look at them from previous years, just mess around in there. You can't mess anything up, I don't think. If you do, Michelle will help you fix it. But that is an aha moment as well. So thank you for asking that question, Eldon. I'll mention very quickly an aha moment from the public image group. I was really excited that of the 6 of us in the group, 1 was a district chair and the other 4 were in the governor line. That is incredible that we have such great support. Please talk to, and so my aha moment, I don't know about theirs, was please get your district leadership involved. Let them know how important this is. Make sure that we are not eliminating and we're not trying to push aside polio. That is equally important. That is the #1 funding priority for Rotary International. We don't ever want to lose that. However, we do want to make sure that there are people out there who may be interested and may find this as their passion, and having the governor chain involved in that is an incredible opportunity. So thank you to Barbara and Dolores and Mickey and Joyce, who are all in our group tonight, and several others who were on this call but were in other groups. I think that was an aha moment for me, and that discussion. I will end it with Rod. He will share with us an aha moment, and then we will end the recording after that, but some of us can stay on for those of you who have other questions.
Well, for our group, there were 2 issues that came out. One was everybody wants the copy of the presentation very quickly.
I'll get that out tonight.
It's eagerly awaited. And secondly, we were asked to send to the district chairs the job description, just as a reminder. Some of us have forgotten some of the things that might be on that list, but if we could do that, that'd be great. And let me just tell you that we appreciate your time. We appreciate your joining us. And we hope it's been beneficial. And I'll turn it back over to Tiff.